This is a teaching on animals' natures, the nature of animals, the one who never strikes first. So, greeting everyone. How's everyone out there? This is your friendly radio announcer, narrator, coming to you from the land of Oz. The title of this discussion, and this is a children's show, so you can bring your children here, but it's not just for children, because we all, after all, are just grown children. And it's been said that we all are a type of, they say, the highest evolved animal. That's why a lot of people study animal traits, because they want to see how close human beings are to animals. No wonder the dog is the best friend of mankind, and people love horses. There's nothing bad about animals. They don't rob, steal, kill. They're just something to love. And there's different types of animals. We're going to go with different types of animals. And we can say, like we say, animals are like people. They all have different traits. And you can see people by the different traits they have. They may or may not relate to a certain animal. We're going to talk about the animals who never attack first, who only attack when they're cornered. And this is a topic interesting to me as I study human nature in our daily lives. I say, wow, who does that? Who attacks without provocation? There's animals like that because they have a satisfy a need, hunger. But usually, most of the time, the only time an animal will attack you is if they're protecting of their family or if there's some provocation. Now, this is the honor of all those who carry sacred wisdom of defense in nature, not domination. We speak about the ones who do not strike first, the ones who do not pursue war, but who protects all the breaths in the moment of threat. Protect all that breathes in the moment of threat. That's what life should be about. Protecting the weak, not dominating because you have power. Agree? All right, segment one, we're going to talk about the sacred ones. They are sacred ones because they only respond. They only respond. The first one is the deer. What is the symbolic trait of a deer? Deer are very gentle. They're very aware. If you notice, if you see a deer and the deer see you, they freeze. They want to try to pick up your vibration, whether you're a good friend or foe, because they don't trust you. So it's a danger, it's a threat, because they don't know your intentions. So most of the time, if they're not domesticated, looking for food from humans, they will flee, because you like wild to them. Now let's talk about the skunk. His symbolic trait is he give you a warning. He set boundaries. He won't spray you without first giving you a warning. Usually there's a sound he makes, an irritating sound. I'm not going to try to make it. And if you pursue, he spray you with his scent or his defense scent, put it like that. So all these animals respond when being threatened. Next, we have the snake. His symbolic trait is energy protection. The only way a snake would bite you if you stepped on him and he feel like you're trying to harm him. But the snake don't just go out looking to bite people. They want to protect their own. They protect their energy. They're not looking to start a fight. Next, we have the porcupine. He has a defense built in him for self-protection. Those quills. And what do you do when you see a porcupine? What does a porcupine do? He freezes as well. He wants maybe if I blend in, maybe I can blend in with nature and they won't see me. If you're not aware, you may not realize the porcupine is there because there's so much, they have such a blending in with nature, the coloring and everything. The porcupine raises its gills only when approached. So you got to be setting out to harm the porcupine before they raise those gills up to protect themselves. Next, we have the bear. The black bear. Let's talk about the black bear. Now, this symbolic trait of the black bear is only defense of family. That's the only emotional force the bear will ever attack or charge. You walk up on his home uninvited. Not saying he's going to invite you, but you get the idea. So a lot of people make these videos about these bears and this dangerous bear. No, you're the one in danger because you are a threat to his family. And if you run fast enough, maybe you get away. But that's the maternal instinct. Now let's talk about the elephant. The symbolic trait of the elephant, we say the elephant is one that never forgets, have a very strong memory. And if you watch the elephant move, you can see that it has a very graceful gait, almost royal-like. Not hurried, because this has very few enemies. It don't need to hurry about anything. It can defend itself. So it walks, it struts almost like the king of the jungle that it is. No, not the lion. The elephant is the king. And the lion knows it. That's why the lion would find a little depression in the earth to make his roar sound louder than it really is, to give an echo effect. You see, when you have to roar, you're trying to send a message that you should be frightened of them. Otherwise, you may not be such an imposing figure that someone would fear you. Now, the elephant, it don't need to roar. It has a pretty high tone they call trumpet. I would say there's no king of the jungle. There's a mother of the jungle. How about that? And that's the elephant. Now we go to the turtle. The turtle is very patient. And it has an inner shell which it retreats into for protection. So if it's attacked, he just stick his head in his house. That's the only parts exposed is their head and feet. So it just retreats into their house. And if you grab them, they might peek their head out and bite you in self-defense. But only if you grab them. They're not going to bite you unless you grab them. I got to stir talk about turtles right quick because I filmed some turtles near my property because I had made a discovery that I decided not to move them when I found them. That's called disturbing nature. So I made a video on it, and I came back within 10 minutes to see how the turtle was doing. And that turtle was gone. I mean, I had no idea which way that turtle went. It was around some rubbish, dead trees, so it could have retreated not very far. I just didn't see it. And let that be a lesson to everyone. Don't tamper with nature. If you see a bird fell off his nest, don't try to take the bird home and take care of it. Don't take in stray dogs. No. Let nature take its course. Whatever's to happen is to happen. Now, the last animal we're going to talk about in this segment is the opossum. What does the opossum do? You can ask your children that question. They pretend like they're dead. In other words, they're trying to say, I surrender. But it's a fake because they really are not dead. They're just pretending to be dead. All of them don't play dead. Some of them may show their teeth. If you get too close to them, to let them know, hey, I will bite you. So animals are our teachers. Let them be ancestral mirrors of our conduct and the conduct of our fellow man. Some of our ancestors were like skunks, giving clear warning before releasing truth. Some were like deer, fleeing from confrontation until there was no room to run. Others were like the bear that stood their ground only when their children were under threat. So that's basically what I want to talk about today. Some of my observation in nature. For the animals lovers out there. And we're going to leave you with a poem. Or maybe it's an essay, because it may not rhyme as a poem. Have you ever hunted or thought what it's like to be hunted? Have you walked with those who chose memory over massacre? These animals remind us of protection. That's the order of the day, not aggression. They have reclaimed their sacred bond with nature. Man has a long way to go. So this is a question for the listeners out there in the audience. And you can go back and listen to it if you're not able to write them down. But I want to see your comments. I would like to see your comments. Those who have interest in this pilot program, we can do more. Because I say this is a children's program, but we all have that child in us as well. So I'm going to ask you some questions, listeners. Where have I been labeled aggressive for protecting my peace? Where do I react like a prey? But I forget I have an ancient defense within me. Can I be like the turtle, slow to act, but impossible to break once centered? Let the lessons live in your body. Walk as one who does not strike first, but who never bows to a threat. So the closing words, the ones who never strike first are not weak. They are the memory of protection passed down home to home. Or let's say bone to home, bone to bone. They have the living breath of those who survive by knowing when to stand still. Thank you for listening. This has been narrated. Walk with the rhythm of one who waits.